Welcome to the training demo for the Visitor Processing Client. In this session, we'll be covering how to enter and process visitors through the Visitor Processing screen. Keep in mind that certain functions in the program are only available to administrators, so it may be necessary to consult your system administrator for specifics to your installation. You will also want to view the Officer Web demo to learn about additional search capabilities available to you via the web. This information is provided in a separate demo. To log into the Visitor Processing Client, double-click on the padlock icon on your computer desktop. This will open the login screen. Each person has been assigned their own unique user ID and password. It is important that you use your own login ID when you report to work, as all transactions entered into the system will be tracked to the user who is logged in. When you log in, you must select the location that you are logging into. If you have more than one location and you print passes, this lets the system know which location to print directions from. It is also important that you log out at the end of your shift by closing the Visitor Processing Client. You can close the client by clicking the red X at the top right of the screen. Once you have logged in, the Visitor Processing screen is blank before any data has been input. Notice that the screen is divided into several main sections. The fields to the left will be grayed out until you take some action, which we will explain in a moment. The lower section is the pending visitor list. If a visitor is on this list, it's quick and easy to process them by clicking on their name. This next section that is highlighted is populated with information after you search for a specific employee or department. You can change the view of the pending visitor window by clicking the 2-hour, 4-hour, or All Future Visitors button. This changes the view of the pending visitors. For example, if it is currently 5:30 and you click the 2-hour view, you will see all visitors that are supposed to arrive 1 hour before and 1 hour after 5:30. You can expand this view by clicking either of the two buttons. Let's look up a specific visitor. Suppose that a guest has arrived to see Phil Mickelson. Note that by typing MICKEL in the search screen, the information automatically populates to the screen for Phil Mickelson. Comments that have been entered for Mr. Mickelson can be in a pop-up and are also displayed on the left side of the screen. Mickelson's specific visitors appear in the visitor window at the bottom half of the screen. Now let's suppose that Mr. Mickelson has called the security station to authorize a guest. First, look at Mickelson to see if the visitor is on the list. If the visitor is not already on the list, click the Add Visitor button on the left. In this example, we will add Norm Ames to the pending visitor list. Type in the first and last name, select the visitor type, select the date and time of arrival and duration of stay, and click Save, Do Not Admit. Note that if the visitor is going to meet Mr. Mickelson somewhere besides his office, you can select the alternate destination. In this next example, we'll demonstrate the Call button. Let's assume that a Mitch Cooper has arrived to see Mr. Allman. We have searched on the name Allman and see that Mitch Cooper is not on Mr. Allman's list of authorized visitors. Click the Call button, and a list of phone numbers for Mr. Allman will appear. If your system is equipped with the teledial feature and your computer has a modem, you can click the phone number you want to dial and click Dial Selected Number. The computer will prompt you through the next steps. In the Visitor Processing Client, there are several ways to look up information on people in the company. You can search on name as we have demonstrated. The name search will try to find matches for employees or departments. When searching for a department, all of the associated employees will be retrieved as well. We can also search by buildings, suite or unit numbers, or a configurable field that may be set to email address, driver's license number, or several other options. You can also search by the visitor name by typing the visitor name in the visitor search field. Searching the name Haynes brings up Randolph Haynes as the visitor. Up until now, we have looked at how to enter information into the visitor processing client for future processing. Now let's take a look at how to actually process visitors through the system. There are a number of options available in the system, and your company may not have chosen all of these features. Please check with your administrator to understand what options you have. Separate training demos are available on the optional features. Let's start with processing a visitor who has already been called in. Click on Van Page, who is here to see Mr. Allman. Now click the Admit Visitor button. If Mr. Page has been in to see Mr. Allman previously, his credentials from the original driver's license scan will appear on the screen to allow for rapid processing. If, on the other hand, Mr. Page is here to see Mr. Allman and he has not been in to see Mr. Allman previously, his credentials will not appear and you will need to scan his license if that feature is enabled in your system. You can click Next to complete the process. Your system may require that you input notes if you skip any of the required information. To speed up pass printing, you do not have to see this preview each time you print a pass. Check the box that says, "Do not show this preview again," and the pass will print without the preview. Now assume that you have called an employee because an unannounced visitor has arrived. They have given you permission to admit the visitor. Click the Add New Visitor button. If you do not have a driver's license scanner, enter the guest details. Select the guest type, expiration date, and, if required, enter the automobile information. Then print the pass. You may also need to process visitors who are on an employee's list but who have not been in a while or whose pass has expired. In this case, we searched on Phil Mickelson because Mr. Page is here to see Phil. If you highlight Mr. Page's name, then double-click, it brings up a window that automatically updates the record to today's information for processing. If you are ready to admit the visitor, click Save and Admit Now and finish processing as in the other examples. This concludes training on the Capture Visitor Processing Client. Please remember, when you are finished with your shift, click the red X at the top of the screen to log out.